On Thursday, the NBA announced following an investigation that Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver was given a one-year suspension and a $10 million fine by the league for racist and misogynist remarks. Now, there has been discussion as to whether the punishment for the Suns owner was enough. Here with me to talk about this is the great NBA writer for TrueHoop, Jarod Hector. Jarod, haven't seen you in a while. How's it going?
I'm doing well, Dex. Always good to see you.
Good to see you as well, too. Thank you, man. Now, Jarod, some players in the league, including LeBron James, have tweeted their disappointment with the NBA's punishment here. The NBA's Player Association Director, Tamika Tremaglio, called for a lifetime ban. So looking at the punishment handed down, could the NBA have done more here?
I mean, yes and no. We're looking at it. Let's look at it in the ideal world, right? In the ideal world, sure. You figure Adam Silver and the other owners agree. All right, let's instruct a harsher ban on Robert Sarver because we don't tolerate racism, sexism, misogyny, all that sort of thing. But we know we don't live in an ideal world. I think in the context of what Adam Silver could do, this is the best he could do. Again, you can't just take away someone's team. That's not how this works. There are bylaws in place. It's 2/3 majority vote by the owners. There are a lot of different parameters to do that. Now, do I think that his crimes and penalties were warranted that? Sure. But again, you can't just take things away like that. It doesn't work that way.
Right. And you also have to remember that Adam Silver, the commissioner, he works for the owners, and the owners may not necessarily want situations where their transgressions might come to light if they had a harsher penalty there. So something to keep in mind. Now, PayPal, we're talking about corporations here. They came out and said that they will not renew their sponsorship deal with the Suns if Sarver remains owner after the suspension. So, Jarod, could pressure from companies who partner with the NBA and teams, as well as players, force Sarver out?
Maybe. Look, I think that what's illustrative to look at here is the Donald Sterling situation. That's the one that everyone goes back to. Well, how come with Donald Sterling, they took away the team? Because there were different factors involved there. The optics of that look bad, right? With the Robert Sarver situation, all the NBA investigation proved was it confirmed all the reports from ESPN's Baxter Holmes' piece, right? They didn't uncover anything. They just fact-checked. Yep, Baxter's right. Okay. The problem with that is that, okay, we saw words written down. He said the N-word, this, that, and the third. The difference in the Sterling situation was we heard audio tape of him saying horrendous things. That viscerally responds and causes a different reaction from the public, number one. Number two, that happened during the middle of the playoffs. Players were out there saying, hey, we're going to boycott games and not play. What that meant was that would potentially hurt owners' bottom line and their pockets. So they all got together and said, look, we've been known who Donald Sterling was from the jump. But now that it's public and it's out here, yeah, we can't have this go on. So we're going to go ahead and vote to 2/3, get him out of here because this is bad for us. The Sarver situation, while it looks bad overall in the NBA, meh. And with PayPal, look, okay, they said they're not going to renew. Somebody else would gladly take that spot. That's a valuable piece of real estate on an NBA jersey. And Kia, the NBA's overall sponsor, said we stand with the league and their players, but they also said we look forward to continuing our relationship with the entire NBA community. So, I mean, like, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about they're going to keep getting that money. That's exactly what we're talking about there, and that's really it. But, Jarod, when we look at this situation, it appears that the court of public opinion on this punishment, it's the feeling out there is that it's too lenient. So do you see, as what you were talking about before, could there be a change in the future as to how leagues hand down punishments for situations where there may be a toxic workplace environment? Or will it just be as in this situation with 2/3 majority vote, owners just policing themselves?
I mean, you hit it on the head, Dexter. Owners policing themselves. The reason why owners aren't going to set that precedent, and remember, Mark Cuban said this at the time when Donald Sterling's team was taken away. He said, what Donald Sterling did was abhorrent. We can't have that. However, we cannot set the precedent of taking teams away, right? This is about property rights, right? Owning an actual physical entity, right? Like a team that is property that you're taking away. And there are so many laws involved on the books there. Number two, you mentioned owners policing themselves. The reality of it is these owners don't want to do this because what's going to eventually end up happening is the court of public opinion pushes and you want the NBA to do a real investigation. Let's rip back the Band-Aid, put the forensic microscope out on all these teams and all the inner workings of the NBA. They don't want those skeletons to come out because it's not good what's going on underneath.
Absolutely not. We will see how this all plays out. Some people say it's not over in terms of the discussion around the punishment for Suns owner Robert Sarver, but we shall see. That is Jarod Hector, great NBA writer for TrueHoop. Jarod, thanks for your time, man.
Thank you.